Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to Boston Banner Bound. We are in playoff mode. I'm Brianna Danucci, that's Crosby. And this guy needs no introduction. Green runs deep, Savage on the IG. So, Celtics did it. They managed to get the 4 seed and ended the season 49-33. No one really knew how they were going to end that season because it was very roller coaster up and down.
Yeah, up and down.
But they secured that 4 spot, which was crucial because they needed that home court advantage in the first round against the Pacers.
Yep, so they controlled what they could control. They got that 4 seed. They got home court against the Pacers, which, fortunately for us, was definitely the best matchup.
Yeah,
especially how it played out.
Especially they needed that home court because last year, their postseason, they only had 1 win on the road. So judging from last year, they really needed to get all the home court advantage they could get.
Still made it to the East Conference Finals, which is impressive, you know what I mean? So.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised, nobody's mentioned that, we LeBron James'd ourselves into the playoffs this year.
So explain to me what you even mean by that.
Basically, we played around the whole regular season. We didn't care about the regular season. And now we have an easy-ass path to the finals.
Yeah, interesting, right? Took a page out of his book, just like you're saying, essentially seeding doesn't matter.
Well, I wonder where that came from. I wonder where that attitude came from.
So
sounds very Kyrie Irving to me.
Right? Yeah, agreed.
Because he said that multiple times.
But hey, I mean, if it's going to work out, it's going to work out. I like the way that our teams kind of put things together as playoffs hit, because there was obviously a lot of that negative energy swirling around our team late season. We don't know if they're going to be able to put it together. Are they going to be able to flip the switch? Well, I think that everyone's pretty convinced now that everyone's kind of playing a little bit more to their potential, and I think the switch has been flipped, if you will.
But did you think they were going to sweep that first round?
No.
Hell yeah.
Well, I know that you would never go against them, ever, but
I was eating my green eggs and ham. Hell yeah, they were sweeping.
I didn't see a sweep just because the Pacers were trying so hard. They were not backing down.
Yeah.
Every possession they were battling.
Absolutely.
And they were doing it, I think, in honor of Oladipo, to be honest with you.
Nah, the Celtics were playing with puppets that game. As many times as Indiana wanted to come back into the game, the Celtics knew what the end result was going to be before the game started.
Yeah, it was definitely a game of runs. The Celtics usually break down when it gets to a huge differential, but they ended up battling back many times throughout that series.
A bunch of players stepped up to make that happen, too. It would be like one of the games Kyrie would step up and be like, nah, guys, I'll hold you down. Another game, Hayward would just be playing out of his mind. I mean, Morris was bringing that intensity that in Smart's absence, unfortunately, that injury right before the playoffs. But taking the positives from that negative, it forced a lot of players to step up and get more time maybe than they would have. You know, Jalen getting the start. I mean, Hayward getting more played. I think it's going to work out for us.
Who would have thought you'd take away our best defensive player and our team would play that well defensively in that series?
Yeah, absolutely.
The defense was the key to the series, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, very impressive. We held them to under 100 points every game, right? 4 straight games.
Well, also the Pacers held the Celtics under 100. In many post-game conferences, a lot of the players made that a point to say, the Pacers players, they're like, well, we held them to under 100 in a playoff game, so I don't know what you want from us.
Yeah.
But their shots weren't falling, as opposed to the Celtics shots were falling. And that's how they won that series, for sure.
For sure, absolutely. I mean, a few really cool runs, too, especially that first game. Going down at half, and they just completely blast third quarter.
Yeah,
whereas
they were down 7
during
or
the season, I felt like we kept on touching upon they were having such rough third quarters. They
so
weren't
bad.
showing up.
So bad.
But game 1 in the playoffs, boom! It's back to the old Celtics. Brad Stevens makes his adjustments. The boys come out to play, energized.
But do you think it was because they had one less player to take up minutes?
So it's an interesting argument, right?
That's the issue, right?
But regardless, if that is the case or not, it worked out for us. Do you know what I mean? Luckily, they put it together because obviously Marcus Smart just brings so much. He sets the tone.
Yeah.
First one on the floor, but Marcus Morris Sr. really stepped up, filled that role, and all the players really stepped up in Marcus Smart's absence.
Yeah, definitely, because having him out is a huge deficit.
Definitely.
But the fact that they were able to overcome that was huge. But again, if he gets healthy and if he comes back...
Oh, he will.
Will they manage the time? Will they manage the minutes well?
Easily.
I don't think he's going to have a problem coming off the bench either. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
All these players that have now established all this chemistry and they're playing so well, Marcus Smart's not... He's a team player. He's not going to be like, I'm healthy now, I want to get started. No, he won't need that. He'll come off the bench, no problem. play 100% like he always does. When he steps on the court, you know you're getting his 100.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So second round, all right. So the East is on to the second round of playoffs, but the West is still battling,
Some really
struggling.
cool
It's cutthroat out in the West.
Oh my God, love it.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So the Celtics are taking on the Pacers on Sunday. I feel like it's a million years away from now,
Bucks.
but I'm sorry, the Bucks.
Yep.
The Bucks on Sunday, and Giannis is coming to.
Oh my God.
Celtics are going there, which might be difficult for the Celtics because they need to get a win on the road. But it's a little different when you're facing the Milwaukee Bucks in their home court.
I mean, any team's home court is obviously formidable, especially the Bucks. Like their home crowd is obviously pretty loud, but that's fine. I mean, our chemistry and our chemistry and our confidence is peaking right now.
Team
so
over there.
I mean, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to take one there. I don't think that'll be an issue. I think the Celtics win probably in 6. We're gonna have to win at least one there.
Yeah.
And it's gonna happen.
Didn't they last year go 7 with them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I could see another game 7 with them, honestly.
I just wouldn't want that in Milwaukee. I'd rather them lock it up here, game 6 in Boston.
I agree.
Hell yeah. To be honest, like going into this series, like I still look at the Bucks as the last year's Bucks. This year's Bucks,
no, I agree.
60-win team. Everybody's high on the Milwaukee Bucks right now. I still look at them like our little brother. We're gonna take care of business.
We're far superior, right? It's just
In my opinion, we are.
They definitely proved themselves in the regular season. They had the best record in the entire NBA. You see them in this first round of playoffs. I mean, it was kind of a cakewalk. You're playing the 8th seed. I mean, you should sweep. That's like, expected of you. So for them to get some real competition in the second round against the Celtics might not be so easy for the Bucks.
Yeah, their stats and numbers are kind of
back to their old
kind of
ways.
Inflated, just like you said, because they just played bums. You know
and
what I mean?
no Brogdon for game 1 and 2.
Yeah, yep, that's huge. Yep.
I'm looking at the best matchup right now is the coaches, Brad Stevens versus Budenholzer.
Oh, love
it. Last time them two played each other was when he was coaching the Hawks and he swept us.
Yep.
So this might be Brad's revenge. He's a really good coach. I respect him a lot. However, Brad Stevens is not Brad Stevens his first year in the playoffs that year.
Correct.
He got that experience now.
Absolutely. I think this is his most controversial year. I think this was his most challenge-testing year.
People doubting him for sure.
For sure.
Because obviously he's got multiple superstars and multiple.
And he never had a
egos to deal
superstar
with now.
before. He built a superstar in Isaiah Thomas, if you wanted to call him the superstar of the Celtics that year.
True.
But now he had some real things to overcome, and I think he handled it with grace, and he did a good job. I mean, what else can you expect from him?
It's interesting because he almost coaches better, in my opinion, when he's the underdog instead of the top dog being hunted. And I think this is an interesting series because we are kind of underdogs.
And it's funny you
especially when we're there.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because he's been noted multiple times to say whenever anyone asks him a question in like a post-game or a pre-game press conference, he says, I'd rather us be down by like 20 points. That's when we play better. He literally says this like multiple times. Like,
which is
he loves
interesting,
that
right? underdog
mentality, and he does really well coaching those people in that type of situation.
Definitely pretty crazy. Just to touch back on the West Coast, Coast
let's talk about it.
Series for sure. So the 8 seed Spurs are giving the Nuggets a battle, which that's pretty impressive.
It's
I like
nuts.
that a lot. That's going to 7.
That's a good
That's all tribute to Popovich.
And then
that's Popovich.
obviously down the line, our foes, the Warriors, if we plan on seeing them in the finals, which I mean, I'd like to. We want them to get worn out beforehand. That's exactly what the Clippers are doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
They're getting rattled.
As Doc Rivers doing us a little favor over there.
God, right? Yeah, and then and then the Clippers give them battle. Hey, if they get through them, that's fine. You know the Warriors aren't. I mean, the Rockets aren't going to lay down versus them.
Hell no.
That's interesting as well. They got to go through a hell of a road.
So what is your prediction? Do you think it'll be the Warriors or do you think the Rockets will somehow?
I think it'll still be the Warriors. I think they're far superior, and just when things hit the fan for the Rockets, in my opinion, they fold. They're soft as a team. Like they don't have. I mean, the Boogie Cousins injury is huge as well. I was gonna say the Rockets don't have an elite big man. Capella is he's decent, but he needs to be fed instead of being able to create.
And they got back Bogut
What do you
too.
think?
They got back Bogut too.
And he's been playing pretty well. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's crazy because James Harden is going on such a tear this year. Like he averaged 60 points in 1 month. Like that's ridiculous.
It's wild.
But again, I like to make the argument that it can't just be about one player. So I mean, if he could, be the one guy to drag a team through a playoff run, it would be him. But he needs that supporting cast.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Rockets have what it takes to show up when it really matters.
I still got the better team coming out of the West. The Warriors are going to come out. But at the same time, I want them to come out just like we were saying. I want them to come out after they played 25 games, whatever.
And then when they try to get physical with us, that's where we shine. You know what I mean? We frustrate them, just like the Clippers are doing to them right now, just frustrating them, getting under their skin. Marcus Smart and the Celtics love doing that as well.
Hopefully Marcus Smart will be back at that point. I would hope so.
He's already been running and shooting, so he's already on the road to recovery.
Yeah, it was kind of shocking though when they did say that it was a 4 to 6 week recovery time period. That was like, what? That's like next year.
I got hurt by that. Like he is our heart to the team. He's everything.
Oh my God, brutal, man.
Every Boston Celtics fan loves Marcus Smart. If you don't, you're not really a Celtics fan, pretty much.
Yeah, everything about him.
So, in order to get to the finals, we need Marcus Smart.
Definitely, agreed.
And like a thing that I will always remember about Marcus Smart is it's kind of deja vu. Actually, he was injured last year in the postseason, and he hurt his hand, and he was out for a while, and he came back mid playoff series, I think, against the Bucks, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the first play,
and it was literally, you could feel the tides turn when he came back.
But no, the best part was the first play. He dove on the floor on his hand. I'm like, what are you doing? Doesn't care. Doesn't care.
He's just full send.
That's why we need him back. That's why we need him back.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was cool though, because just like you said, he came back and like you could just feel the momentum turn. You could feel his energy rub off on the players, and I think that that same thing is gonna happen in this. Like, we're going to need a spark plug. And he's good at being that spark plug.
Absolutely.
Maybe it's game 5 and the Celtics are down 2-3 or whatever, and then you throw Marcus Smart game 6.
I love it.
I would love
that.
Love it.
Because they are really dragging out these playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not waiting for the West to finish their first round. They're like, forget it. We're starting the second round of the East. It's been way too much time. That's the thing. Like, that's also a huge argument or a huge question mark is having a lot of time off in between playoff rounds, is that helpful so that they can practice and train, or is it hurtful because they're rusty and they're out of the game?
Momentum. Yeah, I mean, it's always
like
an argument.
Yeah, it's like
you know what I mean? And last night, I mean, obviously it's not the same sport, but Columbus had so much time off. The Bruins literally had no time to think about anything except carryover momentum.
Yeah, Bruins had one day off.
I think that was a cool example of how time off hurt a team.
Right.
And momentum helped us.
Right.
So Crosby, you look at that team and the Boston Bruins, I think that time off would have hurt them. This Boston Celtics team, I think time off helps them.
Because
there's a lot of injury. I mean,
a lot of injuries.
A lot of lingering injuries. You know, you got Horford's knee is still an issue. You got Baines.
But we just have players that have already been there. Let them just like chill out.
Yeah.
Chill out. Get ready for this big series.
Prepare, get mental.
The number one guy, get Brad Stevens ready.
Oh, love it.
Brad Stevens has been preparing for this team for over a week and a half.
Oh, yeah.
He has a game plan. He has a game plan.
We see it. We see their game plan against the Pistons. I mean, they love to just give Giannis the ball. He drives, and then they kick it out to their sharpshooters. So clearly we see how they succeed. How is Brad going to make those adjustments to stifle that? You know that he's going to have a game plan, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you could pick between the Raptors and the Sixers, who's coming out of that matchup?
Honestly, I hope they both beat the shit out of each other. And at the same time, like, I hope it goes 7. Game 7 will be.
I can see it going 7 for sure.
Game 7 will be in Toronto.
Yep.
Yes.
And you have to give it to the home team. I think Toronto will beat them.
So, I like where your head's at. I think it'll also go 7. It's going to be a hell of a series. I'm happy that they have to play each other. My opinion, I do think the better team will win as well. I think the Raptors will win, and I would rather face the Raptors for the sole purpose that I do not want to go against an elite big man like Joel Embiid. I would rather go against Marc Gasol. I think that Marc Gasol can be exploited more than Joel Embiid.
So as we were saying before about Brad Stevens playing like that LeBron James role and avoiding certain teams in the playoffs, who would you rather play in this round right here? Would you rather play the Bucks? Would you rather play Toronto or the Sixers?
I'd rather play the Sixers because we own the Sixers. Okay. It's very clear, and the Sixers only have a starting 5. They really don't have a bench. When you look at it, there's no depth there to the Sixers. And once you rattle Embiid, which the Nets did, and that's why the Nets stole a game in Philadelphia, and they were really, really. I thought that if the Nets if they had more experience, they would have won that series. They had such heart and drive, but they just couldn't. They didn't have the momentum. They didn't have the stamina.
Same thing with the Jazz. Like they had literally they just didn't have the experience, and like
they just couldn't go 7.
When things got like where it really mattered, they just crumbled.
Right. You saw the fight there.
I think that I'm actually happy that we're playing the Bucks this round.
Really?
I think
happy.
so.
Really?
Yeah. So the way that we have to win it is to just go through the stiffest competition. If we beat the Bucks right now, who's stopping us?
No,
I don't
honestly.
see.
So you really put the Bucks above Toronto and Sixers?
Second round match?
I think I'm just happy that those two teams are playing each other.
Me too.
Yeah, and then they can get tired out.
And then regardless of who wins that, if we get through the Bucks, we're gonna feel mentally like we can beat anyone after the Bucks.
Because that's the team to beat. To be honest, I mean, best record in the league.
I just think it's gonna be a really good test, and just like the Pats had to do, just like the Red Sox had to do, they had to go through the stiffest competition to get there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're gonna do the same thing.
Exactly.
If we beat the Bucks, doesn't matter who's next in the East Conference Finals. Then we get to the finals, and it's like, all right, now it's. Any squad can win.
I mean,
you know
out of
It's
those
best of 7.
Out of those 3 teams, the Bucks actually do scare me the most, just because I feel like Giannis is very hard to stop. I think he has so many different ways to execute. I feel like the only thing he lacks is the 3 ball, but he's really good.
Have you ever heard of Shemi Ojale?
Bouts to body him. Bouts to body him.
Do you really think that Shemi's gonna get much playing time in the
Hell
Bucks
yeah.
series?
Hell yeah.
You want to know what he's going to do? They're
think
going to
so.
put him in to body Giannis. Get a
Hell
few
yeah.
fouls, hack at him.
A few, give him
hold
6.
Tire him out. Yeah, that's all we need him to do.
Put him on the line 6
Literally
times.
just body him, dude. Tire him out. That's all.
Shemi Ojale is
he
going to
scares me
bring
the
them
most.
combat muscles.
I love it.
And he's going to get in Giannis's head.
I love it.
And by the 4th quarter, I hope he has 5 or 6 fouls. Get him out of the game. We don't need him on
That's
the
it.
offensive
That's all
end.
there is to it.
And then Giannis is going to be tired.
Use
and
him
then
as
we're
a
good.
bruiser.
Game over.
I just see a different fire from Giannis this year. I am afraid of him. The thing that when I go back to the 76ers Nets series, they rattled Joel Embiid so hard, and they also were smart. I was listening to the commentators say that they know that he doesn't have a 3-point shot, so they just let him stay on. They literally didn't even defend him. They let him just take. He was 0 for 5 in a row.
Try to bait it, yeah.
And they just let him do it because every time he missed, they capitalized on that turnover and they produced on the other end.
Was interesting for sure.
So that's the thing. I'd rather face a team that's trying to shoot the 3 ball all day and miss than a team that goes super hard in the paint and has really good points in the paint, like Giannis and these other bigs. That's more of an issue to me.
So we got Crosby's prediction on this Bucks series. What's your prediction?
I think it'll go 7. But the Celtics will somehow win. I think
in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think if because like you said, they already have 2 wins on the road so far, which is a lot better than what they did last year, which they only had 1 and they lost. It was annoying, but that's what it was. And so, but that was also because they had a home court advantage the whole time.
Yeah, we were
last
the
year.
1 seed.
So this year it's difficult because being away, they have to have that mentality out the gate. 48 minutes strong. You can't falter.
Yeah, and we started quick against the Pacers, which was nice. We're gonna have to do the same thing against the Bucks. Just literally show up. We are not messing around. I think they throw Tice, Shemi, all our bruisers, and I think
Robert Williams? Where's Time Lord?
I think we just
he never.
No, he's a liability. We can't have him.
Just like what he said, throw him in there, get a couple fouls, and then get him out.
He's gonna get exploited. We can't have him overcommitting to try to hammer time every block.
I know.
Chill. You know what I mean? He needs to just observe. What he needs to do is observe, take everything in, get a little bit smarter, and he'll be good, man. He has potential. It's just this series, I don't really want to see too much of him unless it's
I think he
unless we're in a blowout situation where put him in,
I think he gets the crowd up and his teammates up with all his energy. You know what I mean?
And by blowout situation, I mean us up 20 or more, put him in.
Keno time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what's your prediction?
So earlier in this year, as the Celtics struggled, Kyrie was easy to say. He said, okay, the NBA playoffs come around, the game changes, and I don't see another team beating us in 4.
Yep.
Well, when I talk about the Celtics and I talk about the Bucks, I don't see the Bucks beating us more than once.
Wow.
I got Boston in 5.
Cool. Love it.
Which, game 5, I might change my prediction and say 6 because I want that game 6 in Boston. But I honestly think that the Celtics will take care of them in 5.
I love it.
This team is ready for this playoff run, and they're not messing around.
Yeah.
They won it in 4 in the first round. They're taking the Bucks in 5. Bring on Toronto.
Love it. Yeah, wow. Hayward stepping up, playing real well. All our guys really are just taking the next step. And to your point, Kyrie saying he doesn't see anyone beating us in 7. I love how when he was getting chirped by the media, they're like, "Why do you think you guys are going to be fine in the playoffs? Why do you think you can beat anyone?" He's like, "Because we got me." And he's backing it up now, man. Everyone hated that when it happened. Now it's you're looking like, oh, he's playing.
We out here.
He's stepping. He's backing up his words.
I think the reason why, though, is just because I just feel like you can't just be that type of person who's just like, it's just the playoffs. It only matters about the playoffs. I just think that attitude's a little
But it's so true,
backing it up.
It's so true.
He's talking that shit and backing it up, so it's fine. Like if you're not backing it up.
Regular season, we go to all these games. We love going to games, whatever. But it's literally like a waste of time.
Pointless. Yeah, it doesn't
the
mean
real
anything.
NBA starts in April.
Oh my God.
And that's what matters.
Okay.
These players take so many games off during the regular season. In the playoffs, you see players go on another level.
Always effort.
All right,
Love it.
so if everything goes according to plan and the Celtics end up beating the Bucks and they end up beating whoever's next, Toronto, Sixers, what have you, they end up in the finals because last year they were one win away from going to the World Championship. Do you believe that if they face the Warriors, or let me rephrase, what will it take for the Celtics to steal a victory, steal a banner, steal a championship from the reigning Warriors?
It's going to take unbelievable teamwork, tip-top chemistry, great coaching, because that Warriors team is just unbelievable. Boogie going down is great. These teams battling against them is also great. I think it's going to be a combination of them getting worn out on the road to the finals, really fully exerting themselves just to get there, and then when they get there, they're like, God damn, we got to face this scrappy squad.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be, we're going to have to be very confident.
Because
That's
in my mind, they don't really play defense much.
They can, man.
They rely on their three ball and they rely on their offense, and they kind of sit back when it comes to defense.
So they turn it on and they turn it off.
Right.
Because they're that good where it's just
blowing
like
a 31-point lead.
almost the Celtics do the same thing. Like you have such a good team.
Yeah.
You can tell sometimes these
That's
guys are just like
Just get over
these
it.
guys
So
are just like they
So
turn it on and they turn it off.
Yeah.
So like, but like you said in the playoffs, like they're gonna keep going. It's just it's gonna be a perfect storm for us to really take them down though. What do you think?
Yeah.
Celtics, Warriors, right now, I would say I don't think the Celtics have a chance in hell.
Is that because they don't have another piece?
I just don't think that they're on that level yet.
Right.
Like, our best player in that series would be Brad Stevens because he knows how to play against the Warriors. However, I want to get to the finals and I want to go against Golden State because that means Kyrie Irving's going to come back, unfinished business, and then possibly next year we'll have a better chance.
Love it.
This year, I genuinely don't think that we have a chance.
Okay, and last question before we wrap up for this round of playoffs. We'll be back for the next round, but if you could grab a piece, free agent, or a draft pick or whoever, what do you think the Celtics need to add to be on that level of Warrior status, or at least can compete with them and for a real run?
It's tough just
Do you
because
have a specific player in mind, or?
The Warriors just have the full spectrum. It's like if two guys are having an off night, another guy will step up. It's one night it's Clay goes off for 40, one night it's Steph goes off for 40. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the best player in the world, and he just has been really dominating.
Yeah.
Even when he gets frustrated, he still has a good game. Even when he has an off game, he still produces.
Yeah.
He never is like a non-factor. He's always a factor.
Yeah.
And
Except
then
when he gets ejected,
and
when
then
Patrick
Draymond-
Beverly likes to pick on him. That was crazy.
That was fine though, because they were already up.
Yeah.
15. He's like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
bye.
Fine. They just they have so many weapons.
Yeah.
So
way too many.
for us, for us to be able to match that, I like talking about getting an elite big man, but.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It's a battle in my head. Who would we have to give up? I hate thinking about giving up any of our young guys, especially because they've been stepping up as well.
Right. That's
I don't
hard.
know, man. I don't have a particular
game plan
player in mind that I would say I would do this if I could right now. I don't have that.
Yeah.
So instead of dodging your question, I'm just gonna change it up, and I'm just gonna say
ignore it.
No. Instead of adding somebody to this Celtics team, I really like this Celtics team a lot.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, just wait until the Warriors fall apart because I really think that it's coming. It's coming soon.
Okay, so that's a good question. All right, that's a way to change up the question. So, how much longer, realistically, can the Warriors stay on this run?
Yeah.
'Cause don't they have players that are in free agency?
There's big talks that KD is gone.
Right. To the Knicks.
If KD leaves the Warriors and it's this Boston Celtics team versus that Warrior-less KD team, I like Boston.
Okay.
I really like Boston.
Of course, yeah.
All
Without KD.
All right, so we
Still would be
decided don't
difficult,
touch the Celtics, just wait for the Warriors to unravel.
That's the easy answer.
That's the easy answer, yeah.
I guess I like it.
All right, okay. All right, so like we said, Game 1, Sunday in Milwaukee, taking on the Bucks and Giannis, the Greek Freak. We will be back. Oh, wait.
Rest in peace, Hondo.
Oh, yes.
I forgot to say that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Moment of silence for that after.
Yes.
Agreed.
We can do it right now. Moment of silence. Legend. He was a legend.
Hell yeah.
Yes, thank you for that. I totally forgot. We respect all Celtics, former and present.
Legend.
That'll be nice to see what they do at Game 3 for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed, yeah.
Absolutely. We will see. We will be back. We're going to hopefully discuss the Celtics just completely destroying the Bucks. Kyrie continuing this run and everyone supporting him. We will be back next month. This has been Boston Banner Bound. I'm Brianna DiNucci.
I'm Crosby Bergevin.
KJ Green.
We'll see you next month. What were you going to say?
We out here.
We ain't scared.